Hello, my name is Micène Fontaine. I'm Executive Director for Design Art Seminars. In early March, I was able to catch up with Fred Jackson to talk about the 2018 International Surface event he attended in Las Vegas in February. For those not familiar with the show, I first asked Fred to tell us a little bit about it. Here is Fred.
Yeah, this show is a morph. It is morphed from 3 to 4 different shows, which is why it's a rebranded show that has been around for a while, but there's segments of it. Example, originally there was a show called Stone Expo, which was put on by the Marble Institute of America. It is now part of this. There was a show started in the 90s called Surfaces in Vegas, and it is a part of it. And then there was another show which was designed for the carpet industry. So the International Services event is really a new incarnation of those 3 or 4 different segments of the flooring industry, whether countertops, whether natural stone, whether carpet, whether hardwood, vinyls, luxury vinyls, and they now co-brand together under the brand of uh, uh, International Surfaces Exposition and Show, and it's always now in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas.
Okay, so that explains why I'd never heard of it because I had heard of these other 3 shows you mentioned. Okay, so now I feel better. All right, so thank you for clarifying that. Now, was there one product at the International Surface event show that stood out for you?
Yes, this show had a lot of excitement. Also, this is the 3rd show in the first quarter of the year, and it kind of focuses on the flooring and countertop or flooring segment, less of the appliances segment. But I noticed the advent of 2 strong segments. First of all, luxury vinyl, and the other one more hardwoods. And so there's a definite push for 2 materials that are becoming mainstream. And so multiple booths around the show had this new technology of vinyls. But once again, as we found with other materials, it's being impacted by high definition printing. So this new luxury vinyl is actually, once again, looks good and has high design. Also, now it has more, it has different price points, so it's less expensive, than natural stone or other materials, but it's functional enough where it works in both residential and commercial applications. So luxury vinyl was one of those. The other one was wood, and I saw at the show more and more wood displays, and you could see the energy around the Wood Flooring Association. But I saw one out of California called Real Wood, which is like reclaimed wood. So I began to see more reclaimed, also more sustainable forestry being promoted at the show than I have in the past. And so it's where we're seeing the new generation of understanding that materials reclaimed have a place. So this company in California actually reclaims redwood and actually makes wall and floor materials out of reclaimed redwood, and then markets it across the country.
Wow, that's great. Now, the luxury vinyl, is it just labeled luxury because it looks better, or is there anything else different about it?
The luxury vinyl implement is it actually looks better, but it actually is better performing because our old vinyls didn't have a high definition. They kind of had got stuck in design, but now they've got a chemical resistance to moisture. They actually don't look that the maintenance is easier, and it's a thinner protection, thinner material than the old vinyl, and easier to apply, but it wears better. So in this case, this luxury vinyl actually has crossed over from what I call the institutional side into the residential, and definitely in the multifamily applications.
Wow. Okay. Now, any unexpected product that you came across at this event?
This show seemed to also have a lot of applications for um, accessory products. So while the other shows may focus on appliances, maybe on different materials, but this talks about there was a lot of new setting materials, more accessories that work with the installation side. So there was a bigger section for the show for fabricators for their tools. So new blades that are coming out, new areas to work and fabrication tools. So that seems to get larger now that fabricators are working and investing in their equipment again. So that segment, that was an interesting takeaway. Then I saw a lot more what I called allied products like thin sets, sealers, companies that I knew had been in the business before, but now they're actually doing the show because once again, this energy that I saw at other shows is now bridging over into the flooring side where people are looking for, if I am going to set this luxury vinyl, what adhesive do I use? If I am installing this wood on the wall cabinets or the wall, what tools should I be working with? And so that was an interesting difference. This show seems to focus more on the support mechanisms for the flooring mechanic, and at least a quarter of the floor was those support mechanisms and those accessories that help them deliver a professional job.
Which sounds like it's critical, because if the product is not being installed properly, then it's probably more likely to fail. So
exactly, and in the past, and watching the evolution of installation, that disconnect between we've had good products, but sometimes contractors didn't execute it, and so now the materials, the thin sets, the grouts are improving, the sealers are there, and the convergence of high design and beautiful new aesthetics for contemporary applications, plus our installation materials now allow for a better installation and a more professional installation that will last longer and perform to the consumer expectations in the field.
Well, that's always good. Any particular insight you gain about the industry or about this product?
Yes, update on the Marble Institute of America. It is officially now not the Marble Institute of America. It's now called the Natural Stone Institute. I've been a part of the association for 20 plus years, but now it is an official vote, and this was sort of the unveiling where Building Stone Institute, which was primarily quarriers, the Marble Institute, which was a cross section of quarriers and fabricators, and then the Granite Association and others are now under a title of Natural Stone Institute. So now you won't hear MIA anymore, you'll hear Natural Stone Institute. So that's that introduction and splashy new branding, new logos, all of the above was at the show. Then on the
I'm guessing.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, and then on the wood side, the same thing. No name change, but you could see the energy where wood sales, the numbers are going up. So the Wood Flooring Association was really more visible, and they spoke at. They had more speaking engagement. They had more engagement on that side, and then finally on the carpet side, World Floor Covering Association. So the organization seemed to be solidifying, and now that the economy is moving again, they're now delivering and engaging the industry across the board, whether it's stone, whether it's wood, or whether it's carpet, more proactively and more visible. And this show, they had a lot of crossover training across the board from those major organizations.
And how do you think those, I guess, consolidation is going to affect design professionals? That to the benefit of design professionals, or
definitely, because a lot of people didn't realize that the stone they had 6 voices rather than 1 voice. So the focus was never on helping marketing. So I've been a part of the stone industry, but unfortunately we didn't market very well. But by now having the Natural Stone Institute, everybody pooling their energy and their resources, now we will see a consistent natural materials being promoted as opposed to engineered or manufactured materials. So for the stone industry, it's huge. The Wood Flooring Association for 50 plus years has done a better job on the marketing, and because but their Achilles heel has been somewhat the training, and so they've had training, but they've never put it on a big scale. So it seems like they're moving toward a lot more proactive training to reduce errors on using hardwoods in the new construction or residential or remodeling. And so it's interesting seeing their focus not being on marketing like the Natural Stone Institute, but really on the core of the installation translation and making sure the consumer knows what the standards are.
That's great. And I'm guessing for design professionals, that gives them one single point of contact for resources and information and training in these particular areas, if that's what they're looking for or need. So that's a good move. That's great. Now, if you would share with us once again your website in case those listening want to reach out to you about anything related to tile and stone or have questions for you.
Our webpage, which is studiogroup.net, and then the info at estudiogroup.net, or our 800, which is 800-784-0231.
Well, thank you so very much, Fred, for taking the time to tell us about the show. Greatly appreciate you taking the time and sharing your insights with us. So that is fantastic. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.